housewife.
Hey.
Welcome back. The timing of these things and God's timing, man, he is never late, which is something I can't say about myself.
Not I either.
So, when we're connected with these people, these incredible guests
Mhm.
and their backgrounds and their knowledge and their expertise, it is like the timing is
Yeah.
just so significant because this is exactly what everybody wants in January.
Yeah.
It is a perfect way because I even say it in the episode of like our feeds are so overwhelming of like all the things that I want to do in January to
Mhm.
lose the weight, feel better, and do all the things. And I'm like,
And if you're not on social media, like myself, it's
yeah,
still in the conversation. Everybody you talk to,
right. Cause
it's
they're
like, what
doing
are you
something.
doing? Or how were
Hmm.
your holidays? Okay, what are you doing now? It's like, wait a minute. I'm like trying to rest. I'm trying to recover.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you just keep spinning your wheels and you're
Mhm.
like, okay, well, I have just to keep going. I have to keep going. And when in fact, like she gives us 5 things right off the bat that you can do starting today that you don't
And
even
they're
have to wait.
and they're so simple. And I think the one thing that I want to reiterate is and she even talks about it because I'm the one, I was very vocal. I'm like, they're so simple, but I don't do them. Why? And I think we have been taught all of this in our culture of like, go big or go home. It has to be this like, 75 hard, which I've watched people do. Congratulations. They're amazing. I just can't sign up for that in my life right now. And there's just so many things that you see and you're like, man, I want those results but I don't wanna do the hard work because it has to be so big. And she's like, "No, it really doesn't." Like,
Yeah.
healing is just basic, ordinary connecting with, your body, your healing, your cells, the earth, God. Like, it's simple, but nobody
Yeah.
wants to do it because
And
it's too simple.
and it's almost it's such a slow, not a slow process, but it's such a continuous process that we are oblivious to it. And because we're not listening to our bodies and because we're not listening to ourselves, we
Mhm.
can't tell the difference between day 1 and day 30. When in reality, if we really did take the time and go, okay, I'm going to be intentional for 30 days about just taking a deep breath before I
Yeah.
go to bed and before I eat, then I can, let me gauge in 30 days, do I feel better? Because it's
Mhm.
like the changes, you never see them in the mirror. Like you
Yeah.
don't realize your kids are growing up as they're growing. Like,
Oh, right?
when somebody who hasn't seen them in 2 months and go, oh my gosh, she's grown another 3 inches. You're like,
Mhm.
oh, she has? Okay, great. But so, anyways, the don't let the simplicity of these things fool you
Yeah.
into writing them off.
Yep.
That's what I have to say. And that, I would love to know, throw a comment in our Instagram or YouTube and Rumble. I'd love to know which one of these really hits home and you're like, "Oh, that I can do,"
Mhm.
or what you take away from this episode because I know that you and I definitely took away a couple of things.
Yes.
So, I need to send you more inappropriate voice
Yes,
messages.
because
That's
I
what I've
need to
learned.
laugh a lot more.
Yep, happy to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. All right, enjoy the episode. Hey, housewives,
Hey, hey.
welcome back
Yeah.
and happy new
Yes,
year.
we can still say that.
We
There's
can
Happy New Year for like a whole month, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I think it's a good refresher because I know that we getting back into the routine of things after Christmas break and we're catching up with things that we've missed the last couple of weeks. So, we could really say Happy New Year to our mamas until
Yes,
March,
yes.
really.
You're
And
adjusting, kids getting back to school
yeah, very
after
much so.
that long break.
Yes. Uh-huh. Break. Do we call it a break or do we call it prison? I don't know. It's up to you. Anyways, Tracy is going to introduce our next
Yeah.
guest, which is perfect timing for
Mhm.
the new year because I don't know about you, but I have gotten things on my news feed for the last 4 weeks about get ready for the new year to do this and this and this. And you're like,
Mhm.
ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And it can be so overwhelming. So
Mhm.
this is I'm so excited about this guest to help us make sure that we don't get overwhelmed in all of that. So
Yes.
take it away, Tracy.
Okay, today's guest is Esther Yunkin, a registered nurse for over 25 years of experience in both emergency medical and holistic health. After 17 years in the ER, Esther grew frustrated with the band aid approach of conventional care. Now she helps exhausted women with Hashimoto's regain their energy and feel like themselves again without getting overwhelmed. She's the host of the Health with Hashimoto's podcast and the creator of the Holistic Hashimoto's program, where she shares simple, sustainable strategies for lasting wellness. Esther lives in rural Minnesota with her husband and their four boys, where they homeschool, garden, and raise flocks of chickens. Welcome, Esther.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
You are in my rural chickens gardening. I just would love all that.
That's her secondary life.
It
She
is.
has I'm like, "You live in suburban Johnson County."
I
That is
know.
n
I grew up a farm girl and then moved to the big city. And that's where I met my husband. We had our kids. And so then this was the like, meet in the middle, suburban, like just, and I kind of want some of those roots back.
Are you allowed to have chickens there?
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
Oh
conversation.
dear.
We have a very good friend who is in the middle of a
of
Oh
course.
issue
dear.
because
Yes.
she has chickens and her HOA does not like it.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
It's not fair.
it's
no. No, it's so weird. Like every city and every neighborhood seems to have their own
Yep.
interpretation on that. It's ridiculous. Just
It
everybody
is.
should have chickens.
Yes.
not everybody. I
Everybody should have the ability to have
Yes,
chickens.
there, fine.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because Tori does believe everybody should have chickens. She just doesn't believe
Yes,
she should have chickens.
correct.
That's what she meant to say.
Yes, yeah.
That's what the
Everyone
kids are for.
yeah. Well, I've seen my kids. It's like when we got 2 dogs, it was like, "Mommy, we'll take care of them. We'll take care of them." "Sure, you will." And I'm the one, of course, and I love it. I mean, our 2 dogs, and I'm the one that takes them for walks and do all the things. And so, but
Yeah.
and so they would be like, "Oh, we take care of the chickens." Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, when okay, so tell us your story. I mean, just the background that Tracy gave us real quick. Just I immediately thought of Casey Means, who very much got
Mhm,
tired of the medical industry and was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Why are we just
mhm.
putting band-aids on things? So give us a little bit about your background and how you came to the conclusion to step out of it.
Yeah. Well, I've always known that I wanted to help people and probably from preschool. I knew I was going to do that and was pretty certain I was going to be a nurse forever. And I always looked at the body as health as body, mind, and spirit. Like,
Mhm.
even in high school, I knew that, which is really weird looking back on it. I don't really think that was mainstream back in the 90s to be
Yeah.
learning as a high schooler, but I knew it as a high schooler. I had read books on it already, body, mind, and spirit. And so I went to college with that perspective. And then I went up to Alaska and worked for a couple years as a missionary nurse in a teeny tiny place. But nurses did everything, dispatched ambulances, ran the ER, ran the clinic, took x-rays. We did everything. And so then when we moved back down to the lower 48, I persisted in the ER because after Alaska, you need some more excitement. And I love the ER as far as saving lives. The ER is there for people who have had accidents and people who are having medical emergencies. And that part is awesome. Standing by somebody's bed and pushing meds to keep them alive for the next 2 minutes, and then you have to do it again. Like that is seriously life-saving stuff. And it's
Mhm.
fun. Like days like that, you're like, I saved a life. Like I saved the same life like 50 times. But then you have the other side of it where everybody is coming in for chronic things. You get to know individual
I
people
say
because
that.
they come so much. Yep.
Yeah, and that's such a drain on the medical system and
Mhm.
healthcare
It
profession,
is.
and you're like, "No, that's not what the ER is for." And there's a 4-hour wait because you're coming in with a sinus infection. Like, stop.
Right.
Absolutely stop. Like, and you're wasting like ER doctors, their time and their expertise and their wisdom. Like, that is not what that's for. Yeah, just sorry, that's my own little
No,
mm.
you're absolutely right. But
But
then what's even worse is if you have that same patient come in the next month because they didn't implement anything that you said. So they misused the ER the first time, and then you tried to educate them a little bit. They didn't accept it, and they're coming back in for the same problem, using up more resources, and it's so frustrating. And I got burnt out. I was
people
like,
wonder why our health insurance is so damn expensive. I don't
right?
know. And why medical bills are so damn expensive. Let's talk about the people who that use them improperly and also the all of the mass like mortality, like the obesity and think the chronic conditions that are draining on our medical Sorry, this is wow, this went whole totally into yeah, all right. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
But you're totally right on all of it.
Thank
There
you.
yes, there is a misuse. But even when I mean, obviously, standing next to a bed, pushing medications, keeping somebody alive for 2 minutes, like, I'm not gonna talk about prevention and
Right,
holistic
at that
health.
point, right.
But with my other patients, I often brought it into the conversation, even in the, like, 30 seconds that we had together.
Yeah.
And I remember I had one dad come in quite frequently with his young kids, and they would always have ear infections. And you could smell the tobacco on him. And just as a point of education, not shame, not blame, just education, did you know that when a parent smokes, the kids are more likely to get ear infections? Just putting it out there. And he came back in one time by himself and he's like, "You're that nurse." And I was like, "What are you talking about? What did I do?" And he said, "I just want to let you know I quit smoking because of what you said." So,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
right? You
Mhm.
can make a difference prevention wise in the ER, but that's like one story out of
Right.
17 years. Like, that's
yeah.
Mhm.
not very much. And so I went back to school for holistic health because I wanted to make that difference every day instead
Yeah.
of just once every 17 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
So, excuse me.
incredible.
So, when you went back for holistic health, how much additional education or what did that look like? Because you'd already been in medical school,
Right, right. Well, nursing school.
nursing
Um,
school, excuse me.
it's okay. I chose a program for nurses and it was holistic. Today there are many more options. Back then when I went back to school, I think I only found 3 different options and it was great. I wouldn't recommend the school to anybody. Like not anybody because of the last half of the program, but the education portion where I was learning all of this holistic health and learning to read research. That was amazing. Every single module I had to read, I don't know, it was between like 50 and 100 studies, research studies, and we would get a packet, like, here are all of the printed things. I had to read through all of them and then write an education piece of how I would apply, this illness, how would I apply health, body, mind, spirit, diet, environment. So it
Mm,
was pretty rigorous, here's cardiovascular disease. Now please teach a patient or client, whatever you want to call them, how to get healthy if they have cardiovascular disease and approach body, mind, spirit, diet, environment. That was amazing training, and I
yeah,
loved it. Yeah.
that's
I
amazing.
that is I just as a person who is trying to because Tracy and I do we try to absorb as much as we can, or like if we
Mhm.
find ourselves like stuck in something that we try to find the research or whatever. What are good places to find like valuable research? Because you know the adage of that you can find a research study that will support anything that you want. I
Mhm.
mean, it just depends on who pays for it, right? Like that's just but is there a source that people can go to online or what like that you think has a good balance or good reputation for providing accurate research?
For most things, you can go to
Mm.
PubMed or Google Scholar, and it
Okay.
will pull up, things that have been published in peer-reviewed studies and publications. Google Scholar takes in a broader amount. So if you're gonna get something that, like, might not be Fauci approved PubMed, then maybe you wanna check Google Scholar. I feel like a little bit more of it comes in. I think that this is one subject that is going to change significantly over the next year or 2
Mhm.
because of who we have in the government right now, and they have said that to get some studies published, to get some research published, you have to have an agenda. You have it into the pharmaceutical agenda. So
Yeah.
there have been some studies that have been done and they're done with excellence and they should be available to us, but they didn't meet the agenda of some like journals. And so they're harder to find. I feel like that conversation is going to be evolving over the next couple of years and hopefully we'll have some more options. But
Yeah.
right now, PubMed and Google Scholar are just like my default. I'll go there first.
Mhm.
Do you know on offhand and on does it tell in PubMed who sponsored the study or the research?
Yes, I
Ev
think it does.
They always have to list, like their conflict of interest, but I think they publish that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would think,
almost
yeah,
certain
just
because I've done a lot of research on PubMed when there's something that I'm about to try or when we have gone through some things with our kids, like, I don't go medicine isn't the first route, so if I'm going any other route, I wanna find out what has worked and what's not, and I will read my own research on PubMed, and I usually know what school, what facility, who ran the study, and
Oh,
it's gonna tell you, "Oh, this was done with a small study of 20, this was done with a large
yeah,
study of 1,000." Like, I mean, you can really see, its credibility. And
right.
again, like you said, you can find research on anything you're looking for. It's just a matter of are you willing to just keep digging?
Yeah. Okay, so that being said, that you find yourself in you're out of school, the holistic school, and now what?
now I was a little naive.
Aren't
So
we
in the
all?
yeah, in the ER, you have hours and hours of people in the waiting room. And so I figured all of these people need prevention and everybody I know needs to be healthier. So I'm just, an ER nurse. I know a lot about a lot of stuff. And I'm just going to say I can help anybody. Yeah, that didn't work.
You mean throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks doesn't work? I
Right?
don't believe it.
So were you starting just like online? Was that your first approach? Like just, hey, here's who I am, here's what I'm gonna do, that kind of thing?
Yep, that's exactly what I did. And it didn't work. And I was like, "Why isn't this working?" I can help somebody with cardiovascular disease. I can help somebody with autoimmune. I can help anybody because it's true. Like I had been taught all of it and everything comes down to a cellular level.
Mhm,
Everything comes down to stress. Like there's
mhm.
certain similarities and I really can. And then God was like, "Hmm, you need some help. So you have Hashimoto's."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, "Thank you, I think."
Yeah. Let me give you a niche real quick.
Yes.
Okay. So with now I know uh, let's assume for our listeners who have not gone down the vast amount of rabbit holes and have not figured out whether it's Hashimoto's or or they've gone and gotten their labs done for the yearly and the doctor says, nope, everything looks good. Your numbers are good. Like that's not happened 1,000 times, right?
Mhm.
What are a couple of things that people can I mean, starting this year, like what should we focus on as women, as mamas, like we're getting 1,000 things in our feeds that are saying you should be doing this and like
Yeah.
start exercising 5 days a week and do walks 5 days. Like that can be so
Do Whole
overwhelming.
30, let's do this, like,
Yeah.
let's get do a no sugar group, I mean, there's all kinds of things for everything, but what is the simplest way to just get started for people who are exhausted and tired, especially the new year, usually, people wanna start off fresh, but you're starting off exhausted coming off the holidays.
You are. And everybody, no matter, if they're listening today or 7 months in the future, you have to start with where you are. Yes, the fact that it's a new month is significant and it prompts us to want to make goals and dream and it's awesome. And I do all of those things. But you still have to remember that you are just one day away from yesterday. You have to start where you are today. And so I look for things that are both simple and sustainable. And I know that does not jive with how some people view January. It's go big or go home. But
Mhm.
if it's not simple, you're not going to keep doing it. You're going
Yep.
to get even more
Mhm.
overwhelmed and you're going to quit. And if it's not sustainable, then you just wasted all of your time. So it has to be both simple and sustainable. And
You
so,
mean
and it,
like all the gym goers that are there for the first 6 weeks of the new year and then mid February after Valentine's Day, they're like, peace out, see you. And you're like, wow, the gym is empty again. Cool, cool, thanks.
yep,
Yeah, those
yep.
people.
Yeah. I mean, and it sounded good. They had good intentions. They even had a plan. It
Yeah.
just wasn't simple enough to sustain, or it wasn't a priority for them. Like they didn't fit into, on my way home from work, I'm going to stop by the gym. Or after I drop the kids off at school, I'm going to stop by the gym. Maybe they didn't have a routine in place, but it tends to be one that, people just stop.
Mhm.
Yep. So where can they start?
So let's start with something super, super, super simple that you can do anytime, anywhere. And my favorite one for that is deep diaphragmatic breathing. So if every single person listening just puts one hand on their chest and one hand on their belly and takes a deep breath. and figure out which hand goes up and which hand goes down.
I'm trying this
And
as we speak.
okay.
Okay.
And you might have to take a couple so that you can really concentrate. Which hand is moving? Is it the hand on your chest or the hand on your belly?
It should be my belly, but it's always my chest, which is why I know this.
Why? What if they're both moving?
Then, then it
I
could be better, but it's good
Eh,
that your belly is moving. So when you're
okay.
breathing with your shoulders and with your chest, you're telling every single cell in your body that you're stressed. You have two, states of your nervous system. You can be in fight and flight, that stressed state, or you can be in rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic state. If you're breathing with your diaphragm, so with your belly, with every single breath, you're massaging your vagus nerve, which is one of our biggest nerves. It sends signals to every cell in the body. And if you're massaging it with your diaphragm, you're telling every single cell in your body through that vagus nerve, we're at peace, we're safe, shift into rest and digest. And so
Mm,
that deep breathing is something that you can do anytime, anywhere. And for my clients, I recommend ideally 10 deep diaphragmatic breaths every time you're going to eat because you want to shift into rest and digest. You want to prepare your body for that
mm,
meal. And then also 10 diaphragmatic deep breaths before you go to bed or after you climb in bed before you go to sleep.
mm.
Because again,
Okay.
it's shifting you into the correct nervous system out of the fight and flight and into the rest and digest so that you can do whatever you're going to do, whether it's eat or sleep. Like,
All right.
Okay, so I've been told this a few times, and I'm really bad at even doing that. Why? What's wrong? Why can't we just say, yes, we can breathe 20 times a day, right? And focus on it. Like it's simple and it just needs to be done. I know this because every time I go back to the chiropractor and I'm like, I got this or I've got that, he was like, you need to focus on your breathing. And I was like, I know, but
Yeah. But I can't. So
have
is that some
you read the book Tiny Habits? Not Atomic Habits, but Tiny Habits.
mm-mm,
Mm-mm.
not heard of
Have
it.
have you read Atomic Habits?
I've heard
No.
of it,
Yes.
not read
Okay.
it.
So Atomic Habits is really skinny, short, nice book for January. Tiny Habits is like the textbook for Atomic Habits. But one of the biggest
Oh,
things that he talks about, and it's super interesting. If you're going to read one of the two, I would do Tiny Habits. But he talks about the importance of a trigger. The deep breathing is something that you want to do. It would be good for you. It's going to have a lot of benefits, but you need something to help you remember. So it's your job then to figure out what is going to trigger me to take some diaphragmatic deep breaths. Back when I was learning about this, so I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I had multiple kids in car seats. By the time I got everybody out the door, found the shoes, found the coats if it was in season, got them into the car, got them buckled, all of that, I was stressed. I could
Mhm.
guarantee every single time I got into the car, I was stressed. So I figured that my trigger was going to be putting on my seatbelt. When I buckled my seatbelt, that was my trigger to take a deep breath diaphragmatically, and then I added once I was getting that, then I added, as I take a deep breath and exhale, I'm gonna relax my jaw, I'm gonna relax my tongue, I'm gonna relax my shoulders. And so pretty soon, it got to be unconscious, and so now 10 years later, like, I'm still taking a deep breath because that's just what I do when I put my seatbelt on. Now
that's a really
Good.
good time to chill out before I mean, as I'm thinking about it, like,
It's also though, it's like seatbelt on, we gotta go.
yeah,
And do you realize that I just did the like
you
1990s
did.
car
You
where
did,
the
the
gear
1990s,
shift
I
was
think
up
here.
here,
Mhm,
not down here.
mhm.
That was like
Well,
that was a memory reverse.
I'm rolling up my window. I want you to know that right now. This is the movement, children, that we did to roll up our windows.
Oh shoot. Okay, that is so good. That is great advice, and I need a new trigger, a happy trigger.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
not a negative trigger.
Mhm.
Well, and a
Mhm.
happy trigger that applies to, like, right before you're eating or right before you're sleeping. And so, I
Is
don't know,
something as
is
like setting alarms on your phone? Because there's somebody here that sets reminders on her phone for absolutely everything.
I
I'm
don't know
not
what
gonna
she's
name
talking about.
names. Tracy. I'm surprised one hasn't gone off yet.
I'm on Do Not Disturb. You're
Okay,
welcome.
thank you. But is that something even to get started, just to remind ourselves, like, okay, I'm just gonna set an alarm on my phone every day at 8 a.m. This is what I'm gonna do.
if you follow your alarms, then that's great.
And
But
don't
if
just hit snooze a
Love
thousand
it.
times. Is that what
right?
it's what
She's calling me out.
Shh, I'm not.
You mean I don't just go, "Oh, I can't do it at 10:30, so I'm gonna do it at 2:30," and I
Mhm,
readjust that alarm
mhm.
because I'm not able to do it right now.
Yep.
Or hit snooze 6 times, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, 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 45 minutes later, I'll get to it, I'll get to it."
Mhm.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah,
yeah.
an alarm on your phone is great if you're gonna follow it. Otherwise, it's just more noise, and it's more that your brain is saying, "Oh, failed at that again, failed at that again." Mm, sorry.
You're right,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, let's come up with a new plan for our alarms.
Okay, got it. Mental note. Okay, what's number 2? What else can we do?
So we want to maintain or sorry, like we want to lower or react better to the stress all around us. So deep breathing is one of those things where we can just tell our nervous system to shift. But another thing we can do is decrease the stressors that don't even quite feel stressors, like social media. You know, we can all probably
Ooh.
lower that a little bit as we scroll. I'm sure we've all heard it because, moms want to keep our kids safe. And just so we know all about screen time, but we don't necessarily apply it to ourselves very well. Um,
Mhm.
so that is one simple, as in we're needing to lower it. It might be difficult because it's such an ingrained habit, but it's something easy that we can do to decrease our stress.
So,
Um,
is there a certain way that you would suggest doing that? Or is it like on your phone, making an app limit? Or how would you suggest? I mean, not everybody, Tracy, what, 2 years ago?
I'm in a year and a half now.
Okay, year and a half, almost 2 years, quit social media altogether. So, like, but cold
So I've at least
turkey.
done that.
And
That was
she,
not cold turkey. It took me 3 times to
well,
actually
yes,
do
you did.
it.
Well, that's what I was going to lead
Oh,
up to.
okay.
Like at 3 times, like she tried and tried and tried, and that was a period of time
Yeah,
too
yeah.
before she actually was like, "Nope, I'm out. I'm done.
Mhm.
This is really, really." So, is there a suggestion on how you would do that if somebody is like, "I've got to work up to that"?
Yeah. It's again figuring out what works for you. We've probably all used the native alarm or the native, restriction in the phone where it's so easy just to ignore.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
did that for too long. So I use the app Screen Zen. It's free and you can set a daily time, but you can also set like interval times. So I have my like Facebook so I can get on it a certain number of times a day and each one of those times I can only be on for 10 minutes.
Oh,
So that way, you don't feel like you can only get on once in the day. Like, I still know I can post to my stories.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
that makes sense because for people that are looking at like sharing content and things like that, as
Yeah.
we try to do for the podcast, that's a good way to do it to break it up. And when you know you're going to have like, I know I'm going to look at my phone in the morning when I'm in bed. Like if I give myself 10 minutes, I that's feeding the fix, I guess.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, and really, I mean, you don't need more than 10 minutes, but if you do, you can set the timer for more. It's you set your limits
Yeah.
according to what you feel is healthy for you, and then you can start whittling down so that you work your way off entirely or to a healthy limit for you.
I
Mhm.
Yep.
like that.
Yeah.
All right. So limiting social media
Noise and
and
distraction on your phone.
yep, there we go.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Next, what's the third?
I would say if you can, is going outside first thing in the morning. Get that early morning sunlight. We know it helps so much. I just read something just the other day about one of the Scandinavian countries, and I don't know if this is one of those AI generated feel good stories or if it's real. I did not look farther than reading the story on Facebook, but they said that the entire country pauses at sunrise because sunrise gets so later. They all pause. So in Norway, according to this story, everybody goes outside and enjoys a minute or two of sunlight once it comes up. We all need that. We all need early morning sunlight. Ideally, morning is when you wake up, but if it's not, when the sun comes up, it just helps our hormones. It helps our stress. It helps our sleep the next night. It helps a lot of things and it's super simple. And you don't need a lot of time. Ideally, 15, 20 minutes, but our lives are not ideal. So try to get early morning sunlight. I feel like that is something that both
My
simple and
11-year-old
sustainable.
is doing better at this than me.
Yeah.
She has been getting up and she will text me, "Is it light enough to go for a run?" And she has been running every morning before school for 2 weeks. She is
Oh,
11. She comes back and she's like, "I love the cold. It wakes me up. I love being in nature." But I mean, she is me, just actually following through.
She's the better version of me?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that what
she's
you
the
meant by
11 much younger, much more energetic version of me.
That's awesome. Good
I
for
know,
her.
I know, and it's really, really helping her mental health.
Oh,
So,
that's good. Well, okay, so even is it because I know my husband and I, we close the windows, we have the blackout curtains and things like that. Is it something as simple too as just like pulling up the window shades to just let natural light into the bedroom and to the bathroom, even in the morning, just have that kind of exposure to it? Is that something that would help too, just making that slight change?
It's better than nothing, but
Yeah.
not all of the wavelengths come through the glass, especially if
Okay.
you have modern glass. They have, like, built-in sunscreen in modern glass, which I did
Okay.
not know, and so it's better if you can go outside, but something is better than nothing. So if that's
yeah.
all you can do that.
Yeah. That's good to know. All
Mhm.
right. That brings us to number 4, if I can still count. Is
I
that right?
think we are on number 4.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Yes. Here's a simple one that's gonna help your entire family, and this is not exercise related at all, is laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
We did a lot of that this morning. She
yeah.
sent me a voicemail and she was dying laughing, and I waited the, like, 30 seconds to where I could hit keep because 'cause I'm like, "I need that voicemail." I listened to it at, like, I don't know, 7 o'clock this
I
morning,
was
and I was
gonna
like, "This
say
is
you were.
the best morning
Oh
ever."
my gosh. I was there was something last night that I could not stop laughing. And it is, and again, I did. It was a 1 minute voice
Just
message that
voice
I sent her
message of just her laughing. It was the
of
best thing
just
ever.
me laughing and trying to tell her something. And I was like, I can't, I can't. But
It's
yes.
It is true. Can I just like tangent here for a second? We have talked about so much in our family. So I'm not on social media, haven't been for 18 months. And it used to be what made me laugh. I would send videos back and forth. I had two friends that we would just send like fails and falls and whatever else, like that would just be our thing. I have a couple kids who are in like their algorithm is just videos that make them laugh. And they laugh and laugh and laugh. It's so good. It's so funny. However, I'm like, we don't laugh being together anymore. It has to be because of a video. Now, I blame America's Funniest Home Videos because that
That's
is
true.
what we used to do as a family. When our
Yes.
Yes.
kids were little, we would sit around and watch AFV and we would all laugh together. But it is a thing. Like our community, our culture, let's put it that way, has turned into you only laugh if you watch a funny video or send it to somebody
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're all too sensitive to pick on each other and joke like we used to, and it'd be funny.
Right. Because we
Yeah.
all have feelings now.
Don't be knocking feelings. You can have
I
some.
can have. I don't know. I sent you a video that talked about how not having feelings doesn't make me a victim to a serial killer.
That is true.
So that is very true. I just want everyone to know. So, but with is that, I mean, laughing and having fun, because our family, we are very sarcastic. We do lots of just, I mean, cheap shots at each other. And again, I have an 11-year-old and a 12-year-old. So, I mean, you know,
You haven't learned if that's a bad thing yet or not.
right. Have no idea. Well, I've learned sometimes where I'm like, okay, you need to know when it's okay to talk back to mommy this way and when it's not.
Yeah, that is true.
But too, we love like the TV shows that we sit and watch together are like just 20-minute sitcoms that are funny. And that's, I mean, we go back to Home Improvement
Oh
and
yeah.
like they're just so funny. And that's just because I'm like, I just want to sit down and laugh with you guys. And they don't get all the jokes, of course not. That's kind of the best part. But even if it's that. So is there another, besides watching videos or watching a sitcom together, is there a surefire way that you can get your family to laugh together?
No.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Yeah, sweet.
There's really not, you have to figure out what works for your family.
Yeah,
And, I mean, they've done studies on tears, and there's different chemicals in tears, whether it's like a tear of sadness or a tear of fear, or I don't know what kind of tears you would have, but I thought they found like 5 different types of tears.
Huh.
I'm assuming, I have nothing to back this up, but I'm assuming that different types of laughter
Mhm.
also would have a different effect on the body. And I do know from research that laughter in community is more powerful
Yeah.
for your own health. But I would assume that, laughing at a funny video by yourself is a little different than laughing at a funny video, staring at a phone with a friend, which is different than all gathered around AFV and
Mhm.
laughing together, which is different than, playing a board game and having fun and laughing.
Mhm.
But I have nothing to back that up. So I would say figure out what works for your family
Yeah.
and just try to increase those moments of laughter. I believe there's a statistic. I'm trying to remember it exactly. I had it in my winter wellness workshop. I think it was 1 minute of anger and it decreases your immune response for 90 minutes, and 1 minute of laughter improves your immune system for the next 24 hours.
Wow.
Wow.
So it is very powerful. Laughter is powerful.
That is good.
That is amazing.
What if we're one of those individuals that has a dark sense of humor and I'm the one that tries to make people laugh in those awkward situations? Like I'm the friend you can't sit next to at a funeral. And most times weddings, because it's all serious and feelings, and everybody's, like, oh, this is so touching. And I'm like, does everybody see this? And I'm making this. So, because that would be, I feel like that.
I'm translating this into you keep
Mhm.
people healthy.
Oh, good.
I
Good.
think that's what it is, right?
I think that's
Sure.
I
I think
like
that
it.
works.
I'll take it. I'll
Uh,
take it. Okay, so number 5.
All right. So we've talked about like everything other than exercise. So let's talk about exercise for number 5. This is like, please don't go big or go home. Do something simple and sustainable and whatever that is for you. And so I'm not going to have this one like magical exercise that
mhm,
everybody should do. Do the next thing. So if for you increasing from 0 minutes a day to 5 minutes a day is a win, like go for a 5-minute walk around your house. Like if that's going to do it for you, if you're going to be able to sustain that, awesome. Do that and then set a note on your calendar to increase it in a month. Like how can you do that? But for you, maybe you already work out, 30 minutes a week, or 30 minutes a time and 3 times a week. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to add in, more weights or more cardio, whatever you've been, not doing because you don't love it as much? How can you increase slowly enough that it's sustainable so that it feels doable for you, but still increasing? So
mhm.
that's tip number 5. Look at where you are and then see how you can increase that physical exercise.
And I think that's a really good point because
Mhm.
I've been in different seasons and I've always loved working out. It's just looked differently as, you go through different phases of life and different seasons of being busier and being more exhausted and all the things. But I think the one thing that you said was keep it simple. People think that, well, I can't do simple because I won't get results. It's always that result driven. Anytime we've had conversations
Oh,
with people,
yeah.
it's always, like, well, but I need to lose 15 pounds or I need to just feel better or I need to do this. It's like, no, all you need to do is walk or,
Mhm.
put one step foot or one foot in front of the other. And that's the part that, I mean, we were just talking about it this morning. We're finishing our basement and it's like we've moved and it has just been months and months of chaos. And I cannot wait because we're having our workout room put in. And I'm like, I'm just so ready for it to finally be in one place so that we can utilize it, and you got to make it what works for you and be okay that it's been a hard season. Just yesterday is yesterday. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I would say too, one of the biggest game changers for me was in 2024 was hmm? one of the biggest game changers for me in 2024 was dog parks. I was
Mhm.
literally, and I was doing it for my dogs. It was, I'm taking them to the dog park. I'm going to do it 2 or 3 times a week. And then I fell in love with it so much so. And then, I mean, I was like, oh, I feel better. I'm putting in 2 miles every other, like it made me feel better. And then I was like, oh, and then weight fell off and I wasn't even thinking about it. And it was just one of those things. It was just like, it was a small thing. I'm like, oh, I need to do this for the dogs. They need more exercise. They need to get out because they have so much energy. And then before I knew it, I was getting results without even thinking about it myself. But you can find something that is easy. And again, I mean, I took the pups for a 15-minute walk before she got over here and we recorded this podcast because I was like, I just need to get out.
Mhm.
And it's being outside.
Yeah.
I mean, two birds, one stone.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, my last question, because you are a Hashimoto's person, you've experienced it. There are a lot of women who have Hashimoto's that it's very new diagnosis. There's some that probably have it that don't know they have it.
Mhm.
We have been told, our bodies can't do as much. That needs less stress. It needs more rest and healing. What is your experience and where is obviously you have your own history too. So it's like your history and your knowledge. What has been best for your clients, for people with Hashimoto's?
Mhm. It's coming to the understanding that you have to listen to your body. You have to.
Mhm,
For me personally, I loved running. It was, like, good for my mental health, obviously good for your physical health until you realize that, no, actually, it's a physical stressor, and I have a Hashimoto's flare every time I try to run. So, it was accepting that, okay, my body just can't do that much physical stress right now, so it's switching to walking. But it's the same for everybody with any autoimmune condition. It is figuring out what is going to help your stress because exercise does help your mental stress. And you
mhm,
don't want to overstress your immune system, your body, and say, then it backfires. So it's finding that balance. I find that for most women, you can walk and that's not too stressful.
mhm,
But doing like a hit workout or going for a run or something like that is for many women with Hashimoto's, that is too much of a physical stressor. So it's
mhm,
really listening to what your body says. Some people that I've had talked to with Hashimoto's or clients, they can do it and they don't find that it increases their symptoms. Others, they can't. So really, again, I wish there was like a one size fits all
mhm,
answer, but there's not. You have to listen to your body. And for most women with Hashimoto's, we've been doers, we've been go-getters,
mhm,
perfectionists, wearing lots and lots of hats. That's a very common thing.
mhm.
And so for most of us, I would say we're gonna have to do less than we want on an ideal day.
Yeah. And walking and yoga and those kinds of things have been my go-to. I used to run. I was a runner. I trained, did half marathon, lots of 8Ks, 10Ks, all the things. And I don't know, I haven't ran again since I got the diagnosis. I'd be curious to see if I would flare up, But the one thing I was gonna ask you, what about weightlifting? What are your thoughts on that is it very similar or is that stressful on a body with Hashimoto's?
It's very similar. So most women can do some weightlifting, but again, watch that stress level. So if you are stressing your muscles out to like fatigue, maybe that's too much stress for your system at this time, but you can do some weightlifting. I feel like most women should be able to do some,
Mhm.
and then it's just how much, listening
Yeah,
to your body.
yeah. That's really good advice.
Yes. Well, these 5 things, I mean, after listening to these are things that I could actually do, Tay.
Mhm.
Like,
I
I mean,
know.
this is like, okay, even if I put it on a Post-it note in my, car and just say, "All right, breathe more." Do that.
Mhm.
Go for a walk, laugh. I
We
mean,
do a good job of
we do.
that.
Yeah, because me, I have a pillow that says my family has to be God's favorite family sitcom because I do feel like that's like sometimes it's just like, what? But though that these are realistic things
Mhm.
that I can adapt and use and
Well,
become
and I will say, it's not things we haven't heard before, and I'm not saying that anything against you, it's just that credibility of that, like, "Hey, these are the things that will help you get to healing and relaxing and lowering your stress.
Mhm.
It's good for your body." Like, and those are the things and I love that you led with the first 4 before exercise because everybody's gonna lead with diet and exercise first, and those are the 2 most overwhelming things ever.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you do lead with, "Okay, I need to be breathing, I need to lower my stress level and my distractions, laughing more, etcetera," like, those are the things that we need to be doing so that we can heal at the cellular level and deep down and get more sunlight.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, everybody wants the big crazy things. I mean, think back to Naaman in the Bible. God or Elijah said, "Go wash in the Jordan River." And he
Yeah,
wanted something big. He wanted
yeah.
something, that was impressive. I did this.
Mhm.
But healing, it doesn't take impressive stuff.
Yeah,
Health doesn't take impressive stuff. It takes ordinary, simple, sustainable things over and over and over again. That's really
Tiny
what it
habits.
takes. Yep.
tiny habits.
Yes.
So good.
Well, thank you so much, Esther,
Mhm.
for giving us these things that are doable, realistic, and not completely just, overwhelming, and things that hopefully that I'm going to set a reminder for in my phone. I'm going to try to I'm
We'll
going to
hold
try
each
to
other
set.
accountable.
Yes, I'm going to send her more laughing, just pure
Yes.
laughter voice messages. That's all I do. So, thank you so much. Where can our listeners find you, follow you, and get more information from you?
The best place is you're already listening to a podcast, so search for Health with Hashimoto's in your podcast player, and I am right there. I am sometimes on Instagram. I go in fits and spurts, not super good, but that's where you can send me a private message. Also, I have a community, and again, just go to the podcast, and all my links will be down in the show notes of whatever episode you listen to.
It's
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
We will put that in our show notes too, so
Yeah.
people can find you and just scroll down and get to that. And thank you so much. And I so appreciate you listening to the nudge of
Yeah.
getting out of the medical field but saying, I'm going to go against the grain here. Like, because again, you've been doing this for how long?
Oh, forever.
Yeah. I
At
mean,
least 12 years, I think.
but 12 years ago, we didn't have the administration we have now, right? Like it was so against the grain when you step out, like you said, there were 3 schools where you could look at, and you went and you did it. And just thank you for being obedient in that. And thank you for taking that step out in faith and listening to God, because not everybody does that. And that is no simple task. So I just want to say thank you because of that. And because of people like you, it inspires others to do the same when they're going against the grain. So thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you. Thanks for having me here and for sharing the news because I think we all can do stuff. We can do stuff for our own health, and we can also cause a ripple effect, and that's what you guys are doing. Every time you release a podcast episode, you're releasing that next ripple, and it's gonna have a huge effect, so thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, housewives. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.